Cowboys, the original action genre of Hollywood. Cowboy or Western-themed genres are devoted to telling the story of taming the Wild West, set primarily in the latter half of 19th century in the old American West. These westerns portrayed the conquest of the wilderness, the battles to build railroads and cattle empires, and of course the wars with the Indian tribes of the plains. This genre utilized the basic theme of overcoming adversity to become a better person. No matter what theme the story used, in the end, the audience was left learning a moral.
My favorite cowboy actor of all time had to have been Clint Eastwood. Whether Clint Eastwood was playing a good guy or a bad guy, he always faced insurmountable odds, and no matter how high those odds were stacked against him, by the end of the show, he became triumphant. When looking at the most influential cowboy actors, one would be remiss not to mention John Wayne. John Wayne's early career was marked with hundreds of cowboy movies. While many of these movies were little known or received well by the critics, John Wayne continued on in the genre until he started having many hits. John Wayne finished his career with probably one of his most acclaimed movies, The Shootist. After John Wayne, one would have to look at the career of Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood started his career off as the young Rowdy Yates in the TV series Rawhide. Clint Eastwood was well known for this role and moved on to become the starring actor in the TV series. And of course then there's Randolph Scott. His charm and rugged good looks made him a favorite amongst the ladies. My favorite classical cowboy movie of all times would be the aptly named The Cowboys, starring John Wayne. The Cowboys was about a rancher who needed to drive his cattle herd to market. Unfortunately, right before they were ready to leave, all of his normal hired hands quit their jobs. So John Wayne went out and he hired a group of young boys between the ages of 10 and 15 to help him drive his cattle. The 400-mile cattle drive was long and arduous, and you got to see how the boys were able to become men. They were even at one point approached by rustlers who tried to steal the herd from them, and the Cowboys overcame. I'm torn between two different television series. The first one would have been Rawhide, and the second one, The Rifleman. The television series Rawhide continued the theme of the cowboys. The drovers that accompanied the cattle drive, while they weren't always good, they weren't always bad either. Quite often they found themselves going into town and getting into a little bit of trouble. The television series also attempted to deal with social issues of the day, such as one drover who became addicted to morphine and the social stigmas associated with his addiction. The other thing about Rawhide was quite often it contained a little bit more of a darker, almost sinister side. Now The Rifleman was different. It was a television series that a father and son could watch together. As a matter of fact, the series was about a father, Lucas McCain, and his son in the Wild West. Many of the themes of the show The Rifleman centered around giving people a second chance, a convict to become a contributing member of society. The marshal was a recovering alcoholic, and in one episode, a Confederate soldier was given a job at the McCain Ranch, even though Lucas McCain himself was a lieutenant in the Union Army. The Western was one of Hollywood's best-known genres from the early 20th century until the 1960s. Of course, the first cowboy movie was The Great Train Robbery. The greatest cowboy movies always had a moral. Bad guys turn good, rags to riches, the rewards of hard work, and yes, sometimes even that bad things happen to good people. Cowboy movies usually started with some sort of tragedy. Then the cowboy sinks to a low point in his life. Maybe he becomes a gunfighter or a bank robber. But somehow, throughout all of his bad decisions that he's made, the cowboy resurrects himself to become a good person again. In the movie The Outlaw Josie Wales, Clint Eastwood plays probably one of the nastiest criminals left over from the Civil War. Part of the movie, Clint Eastwood heads west looking for justice in his life. Along the way, he picks up a ragtag collection of innocent and helpless, whom he protects from Indians, Comancheros, and yes, even the Union Army. Despite all the tragedy and death in his life, in the end of the movie, Clint Eastwood meets his true love and settles down to become a rancher.